We're here at Sally Kate Winters Family Services. We're pleased to welcome now the Attorney General of the state of Mississippi, General Lynn Fitch. Morning, General.
Hey, good morning, Gerard.
Great to have you. Great to have you today. Thanks for coming on. We're here at Sally Kate Winters. I'm sure you're familiar with this organization, aren't you, General?
Absolutely. And I'm telling you, Gerard, they do amazing work. I mean, they are looking after our children that might be abused, that are victims now. They do an incredible job. And I'll tell you, we're so honored that we get to partner with the Sally Kate Winters Family Services. They're one of our partners with the Mama program. You know, we've discussed the Mama program and how important that is to people across our state. Mama is an app on your phone. It's a free app, or go to the website. It's Mississippi Access to Maternal Assistance. It's mama.ms.gov. So we'd certainly encourage people to be a part of that. But it's so exciting, Gerard, because, again, this is providing services as we do it together as a unified front, as partners. And the Sally Kate Winters Family Services are one of our great partners. Since this started in October of 2023, we've had 56,000 visits to this site and this app. We've got 400-plus partners, and that's our public, private, and faith-based partners that provide resources. And Sally Kate Winters Family Services has been an excellent, outstanding partner for us.
This organization does great work. General, we just read off when we started the program the number of meals served and nights of safe shelter, the number of children that they assisted last year, and also child abuse forensic interviews. Really incredible. Served some 30 counties in this region of the state. We were just talking a moment ago, had another guest on, Angel Faison, that is an instructor with the School of Human Services intern partnerships. And just the fact that we even need organizations like this and that we have this problem in our society, what can we do to reverse that, General, so that we don't actually just need all these services? I'm so grateful to your office, to organizations like this, for filling that void and for aiding these children, and how many more are we not even getting to?
Oh, you're exactly right. It is so unfortunate to think that we're living in a society and our children are at risk, that they are being abused. But thank goodness there are so many great organizations like, Sally Kate Winters Services that is stepping up to fill the void for these children. Unfortunately, we have to continue to push along and get people to acknowledge and understand that we do have child abuse out there. And April is actually Child Abuse Prevention Month. So the encouragement is for all of the listening audience to please understand, if you see something, you think a child, you think they are being abused, report it. Help us protect those children. We certainly work as well with the Children's Advocacy Centers, as does Sally Kate Winters, because that's so important that we're working together, one, to protect these children, and then to be on the lookout. Unfortunately, the stats right now are just horrific. Nearly 1 in 7 children experience some type of abuse or neglect in the past year alone, Gerard. And 1 in 4 of the girls, they are sexually abused before they turn 18, and then 1 in 6 in boys. And unfortunately, 1 in 5 of those children who have experienced that type of abuse, they weren't even old enough to go to kindergarten yet. And then even more sad, which is something as we talk about it and we outreach, is to let people know that 90% of those children, they knew their abuser. So we look at where that circle is, too, and we now need to get involved and, again, try to keep that and prevent that from happening.
It's just absolutely stunning, General, when I hear you citing those statistics. I'm sort of torn between being mad and being sad. I think that's kind of a natural human emotional reaction. These are the most vulnerable members of our society. They often are in situations where they don't even know that what's happening to them is unusual and not right and inappropriate.
That's exactly right. These are children. This should never be happening to any child in our state, in our country. But unfortunately, there are too many of these abusers, these predators that are out there. You know, in the Attorney General's office, we run the ICAC task force, which is the Internet Crimes Against Children, and that also helps us find these abused children, child exploitations. So we do those type of investigations here in Mississippi. And just to talk about further how rampant it's gotten, Gerard, in 2024, we got 6,306 cyber tips here from Mississippi. That's an increase of over 1,000 from 2023. So what we do is we work with our partners, we work with our law enforcement officers. We've got 80 affiliates across the state, and we're out there trying to find these predators and be ahead and stop this abuse from these children. We certainly ask everybody, if you see any abuse, you think it might be abuse, take that step. Call us. Call the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, anything that you might think, and give us an opportunity to see if that child is in danger and that we can prevent some of this further abuse for these children.
It truly is incredible. General, do we need to strengthen our laws in any way? I mean, obviously, you're bound by that. You're somewhat restricted by that. But do you feel like that we have adequate laws in place to protect these vulnerable children?
I think we can always have stronger laws, again, as we've seen the incredible outreach of what's happening to these children, how it's happening in every corner of our state. How anytime we can put more protective laws in for our children, we absolutely should. The legislature's been great about doing that and bringing forward new laws. Recently, there was the Walker-Montgomery Protecting Children Online Act. It certainly passed, and again, grateful for the legislature. That's just another step on how we protect children from social media, the predators. Certainly sextortion passed right away, and we're able to go after the predators that are harming our children like that, because it all kind of rolls together, Gerard, all the abuse. And then if you look at the tech companies that are allowing the predators to be involved with our children in an online fashion, we're putting them at risk every single day because our children have that exposure. In Mississippi, we said, no, you're not going to do that. We're going to have some parental controls. But then guess what? Big tech sued us. So now we're in the fight to protect our children. And that should always be our first priority, is taking care of our children.
General, you talked a minute ago, giving our folks some advice on how to spot these situations and, of course, report those upon doing so. There's not really like just a set profile of a person who might be engaged in inappropriate behavior with a child or child abuse, is there?
Well, you see a number of the signs. You see children being introverted. You see some of the children that might show up and not be cleanly, or you see sometimes the abusive marks on the child, might be from bruising or anything along those lines, but there's certainly a number of signs. And then, so anyone that might see that, we certainly suggest give us a call, let us work with all the partners and see if we can get that child out of that situation and then onto a new journey, because every child deserves to have their life and not be hindered by abusive people in their lives. Yeah,
no doubt. And I apologize. What I was really talking about, General, was the people that commit these heinous acts against children. There's not like just a specific, you can spot it, profile, oh, yeah, that person is engaged in child abuse.
I wish there were. Then maybe we could find some of these abusers a lot more quickly. In our office, and then certainly working with our DAs, we're going after these abusers, asking for, prison, asking for them to be put away so that they can never do that to another child. So we take a very hard stand when we find these abusers. We're going hard charging at them, because never want to get them back out into society where they can take advantage of another child.
Absolutely. I know your team works constantly on that. And you made a great point that makes this so difficult is it doesn't just require a physical encounter as it once did. The Internet has really exacerbated this problem considerably.
Oh, it has. You know, our children get it from all these different angles. And so that's why we all have to step into that space and provide that buffer. These children deserve to be children, and they should never be exposed to any of that type of harm, be it online, be it physical, be it emotional, neglect. These are children. They didn't ask for this. And so for all of us and for everyone that's listening, you know, the word is please look for these children. Please be willing to step up. Be willing to provide that tip. If you're the least bit concerned, then let us be concerned and try to help that child get out of that situation.
General, thanks for calling in today. Always enjoy talking to you, and keep up the good work of combating this problem in our state. Attorney General Lynn Fitch.
Thank you, Gerard, and thank you to SuperTalk for really highlighting this issue, and appreciate the Sally Kate Winters Family Services.
You bet it. Folks, we're coming right back at Sally Kate Winters.